Okay, guys, so here goes nothing. Hello guys, I'm Katy from Spanish 55 and thank you so much for being with me today. First of all, before I get too ahead of myself, I know that on this channel we are constantly going on about how you should start learning Spanish and how you should master it. Today I decided that I wanted to actually do something different, maybe have this kind of one-on-one conversation-ish video, and that's why today I chose to bring my cozy blanket and have this cup of tea over here because one, I love tea, and also I've been telling you so much about how much of a language enthusiast I am and just how in general I like culture and cultural exchanges and just talking to people. So there's high chance that if you're watching this video, you're already subscribed to our YouTube Spanish 55 channel, and that's a huge thanks to you. I know that there's like a lot of you out there that probably Spanish is not just their second language, or maybe it's their second language, yes, but you already have envisioned like another language after Spanish. Anyhow, in this video, I decided that I wanted to actually share some of the tips I myself usually use when trying to study or when trying to learn a new language. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so step number 1. I have a feeling that a lot of you would be with me in this. To start with, you need to have a solid base of like basic words. For me, I would say that it would be like around 300 to start like really basic conversations, to say hello, how are you, how's your day going, I'm good, I'm fine, I had a terrible day, or I'm tired, right? You want to be able to survive in that environment. When it comes to adult language learning, we are no longer like kids, right? We don't absorb so easily everything that comes across our way. One way that can help you is to actually be able to constantly hear that word and to constantly be able to visually see it. Maybe you don't have to focus on the grammar, you don't have to focus on the spelling that much right now, but you want to be able to differentiate that word. For instance, in Spanish, you have the phrase ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás? Which means how are you, right? And you will often see that ¿cómo is really often used in Spanish. So you can easily make the relation that ¿cómo means how in Spanish. So tip number 2. Learn the basic grammar rules. When you're learning a new language, one of the most common mistakes that you can make as a non-native speaker is that you want to translate everything as it is in your mind. One thing that my French teacher used to tell me was that when we are trying to translate things in another language, we're trying to translate ideas, not words. And that makes complete and total sense because when you start learning a new language, you want to learn how sentences are formed, how verbs are conjugated, how does the syntax work in general, how can you actually make sense. This is where the tricky part comes into play because there are a bunch of apps, there are a bunch of platforms, there are a bunch of books that are available online. First of all, you have to find a good, reliable source that can actually help you to understand how the whole language just works. And for you Spanish learners, down in the description box, there will be a list with a lot of books, music, TV shows that can actually help you into like getting the grasp of how Spanish actually works. Now, once you have like the general panorama, the general view of how the language works, you can actually move on onto speaking and eventually writing. If you ask me, I dare say that speaking can be highly more important than grading, at least at the beginning stages. Most likely one of the hardships that non-native speakers would face would be that they are trying to learn a language that it's not spoken in their country. Here is where technology plays a huge part. Nowadays, there are a bunch of apps that can help you to chat with native speakers. However, there are also other options like online group chats or this language exchange meeting. For instance, back when I was living in Mexico City, I used to go to one of these language exchange meetings and I met a lot of my good friends there. Also, when I first arrived to France, of course, I didn't know a lot of people. However, I started going to this meetup session and I started to meet new people, to go out more and to learn like local expressions, and helped a ton. However, as marvelous, wonderful, fun as they could be, I would highly suggest that if you're seriously learning a new language, don't rely solely on language exchange meetings. Because one downside that I did found was that a lot of people tend to be a little bit impatient with you. If you want something more structured or more tailored to what you need, I would highly suggest to book on courses. For instance, if you're looking to improve your Spanish speaking level, why not book a free consultation with us at Spanish 55? Here, our native and certified teachers can help you to boost your Spanish skills and confidence at your own pace and following your own schedule. Thus, we arrive for the fourth tip that I have for you today. A lot of the things that you know by heart in your mother tongue didn't come from a textbook. Most likely, your teacher at school didn't tell you about them. Therefore, it is important to consume the media in your target language. Keep in mind that not everything is studying. You want to give your brain a rest, but of course, you don't want to disconnect entirely. If you start engaging with social media, with movies, with music, with YouTube channels, you name it, you might actually find that there are a lot of sources, a lot of information that you want to know about. Currently, I've been listening to this Japanese podcast that has helped me a ton with colloquial expressions and actually getting in tune with the actual spoken Japanese. And there are other podcasts that I consume in French that have actually helped me a lot because I really like and enjoy listening to them. I really like two themes, especially Greek mythology and true mystery stories. So this podcast not only helped me studying the new terms, but they actually keep me hooked. Now, one of the final piece of advice that I do want to share with you is probably one of my favorite ones and one of the funniest ones. That is to use the language in your daily life and routine. Try weaving and involving the new language into your daily life. One thing that really helps is to actually get the sticky notes, write the words that you want to learn in that language, and go around your house, maybe pasting the word espejo into a mirror, and you will constantly be looking at the word. You will be constantly reminded, oh, that's the word for that thing. Another thing that really works a lot, and maybe you can find it a bit weird, is to actually speak to yourself in the language. If you go in the morning, you're preparing breakfast, you can say, estoy tomando leche, like I'm drinking milk. Don't be afraid and don't be worried about making mistakes because everyone does them. Little things like this actually help you to gain a lot of confidence and will help you to get more comfortable around the language. So when you actually go on and speak with a native, you will find it more natural. Alright amigos, so that's it for today. As always, I hope this video was useful to you, and if you like this video, please let me know in the comments down below. Also remember to give it a thumbs up, and if you like more content like this, check out Spanish 55 YouTube channel. Also, if you're interested on more tips and resources, check out Spanish 55 newsletters because it's packed with great stuff to help you improve your Spanish. With that, thanks for hanging out with me today. I hope you make great choices. Have a good one, and I will see you in the next video. Hasta la próxima!